Hello, this is Emma,
Hello, this is Arslan again.
and today we're going to be talking about kind of the blueprint for why we decided to make this community that we're making, or Order of the United Man. Um, there is a key stone of the community and the order, but atop that stone lies pillars that kind of hold up the house, in a sense. We're going to see how far we get into it today, but
We're gonna see how far we get into it, but we're gonna start with the thing that's keeping those pillars aloft. And in my opinion, that's love. Love is a force, a way you live your life. And because it's so ineffable and it's not a feeling, but more of just a way you experience life, I'm still trying to find more articulated ways to kind of describe my definition of love. Um, to kind of start it off, here's some things that I choose, and I choose love as a way of being. So here's what love is to me in my experience. Love is being able to not think that you're the axis mundi of the world. Love is being able to kind of get out of that ego perception of me, and understand that you're a smaller part of a much larger conglomerate. You're like a living, breathing pigment on this mandala we call humanity.
and you know, the idea or the kind of image that pops up in my mind is like all these single cellular organisms that are kind of moving around in, the microscopic world. And one day they decided to join together instead of just moving around each other or attacking each other and parasitizing each other. That unity, you could always take things to the next level of ideas or thought forms or concepts in general. And, what was the reason for it? I mean, I guess, yeah, evolution.
Yeah.
It would just survives better by maybe being bigger, or it develops the traits of the other symbiotically, captured or integrated organism that it is. But regardless, what even drives evolution to become more efficient at survival? And what is survival? What is the point of the cell being able to live longer or to exist longer?
What is it called? Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Yeah.
Um, at a certain point, I think that you know animal animal attraction, which is just like a type of love, or like a type of like magnetism towards another of the same species to kind of propagate itself. But like as survival becomes less of a need, I think love is much more of a perspective. It's man, so hard to explain.
A perspective. Right. I mean, it's like if you think of a future that's like a unified world, right? Do you think of one that's without love, that's just hatred, it's unified? Or do you think of a world that is like fundamentally like in love with itself, you know?
I mean, in my experience of love, I don't think that there is a world where love isn't the basis as we advance more as a species.
Right.
Because if malice keeps on accumulating and balling up, it has to be expressed. And uh, as as a if we think of humanity as a larger organism, all 8 billion of us as some sort of dispersed brain, then if malice keeps on accumulating, then I feel like it acts like a tumor, and the only way for malice to express itself on this mass organism is either as like I feel like it's self-destructive. I feel
I
like
feel like that's self-destructive.
I feel like it, like at some point in a mass society, it has no point or no way to express itself than by going back on itself, by imploding.
Kind of like Ouroboros.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Regardless of the beginnings or the beginning inceptions of life or the future of what life is going to look like, and like what are the key principles that are going to be driving the prior, the only way for us to progress is through utilizing these techniques and ideas and thought forms that we base the pillars on love. One of the first pillar would be, well, I guess the first two pillars that are kind of twofold, two sides of the same coin. Self-possession, connected.
Self-possession and observation of patterns.
Observation of patterns, that's right. Because you can be a self-possessed person. Let's say, you make the same decisions to deal with certain problems, and whenever you encounter a problem, you are self-possessed enough in your goal that you react to the problem. But if you do not observe the patterns of your life, you can encounter those same problems over and over again, and never, like, every time you hit it, it's like it were a new wall, but instead you're just hitting the same wall over and over in front of you. You can still live like that. You can still make it to the wall every time, but how are you expected to get past the wall if you don't observe that, oh, this is a wall that I've already seen before?
It's that's like almost a good description of karma. Like something that you're not transcending, so you keep running your head into it, almost
Right.
like a blind idiot.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can be very self-possessed, a very disciplined person, and in terms of just what you attract towards yourself and what you magnetize,
Right.
it's the same thing over and over again. It's like that analogy for history. It doesn't repeat, but it definitely rhymes.
Right.
And a lot of people's life is like a dang Eminem song.
But I don't really know when he kind of started going downhill for me, but
He's still king.
Okay, so I would say that Eminem, he is still a fantastic, one of the best to ever do it, rappers.
For sure.
Like lyricists, But there's a certain persona or image or way of talking that the things that a past generation think are cool and trendy, the next generation just don't associate those those same connections. They don't form those same connections.
And what Zema's trying to say is Kill Shot should have never happened.
It should have never happened. It should have never happened. And I don't really listen to Eminem. Like, it's not really on my playlist. Yeah. I still respect him as a lyricist, but again, it's like you're trying to live in a time period that's already passed.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
There may be a resurgence, in the future of like that kind of stuff. Just like everything repeats, or at least it doesn't repeat, but it rhymes.
Yeah.
Like, even throughout history, like cultures do the same thing. Like, back in like Victorian era, like men wore makeup and wigs and heels, and that was like masculine. Like, you were a man.
Peacocking.
But, that died off, and now the resurgence of men that kind of express themselves in more feminine ways and can see that for what it is. It's just like another repetition of history.
Yeah, recurrence, really. Like, we should have someone on the podcast from, I don't know, the previous century and see how much of...
The previous century?
Like previous...
decade?
Yeah. Well, I mean, previous decade. No, like, someone
previous,
that was alive
generation.
During, like, 19th... generation.
But, I mean, I guess unless we're going based on, like, the generations that we do now, like Gen Z, Gen X, because then, like, previous generation would just be our parents.
I would like to see, maybe 2 generations ago, how much of what's happening now is correlated or...
Oh, okay. In their generation. I get it. Like, what are the recurrences of points and cultures in history? Like, is it in a time span of 1 generation or 2 generations? Or, I get what you're saying.
And like, you know, maybe there's certain events that take a few generations, and maybe there's certain events that recur every dang year, you know?
Yeah, but
Like,
sometimes we just don't know, because
yeah.
look how much shit happens in 1 year. Just to jump off of what Arslan was saying, you know, the frequency at which certain things or cultures or, you know, just ideas kind of recur. Like, does it take span within one generation? You know, men wearing makeup. Like, was in the last generation, was there like a period of that masculinity kind of transformed or took a new shape?
Oh, I mean, scene, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Scene kids, you know?
Oh, scene kids, scene kids. Yeah.
Like, oh man, who didn't want to be like fucking Paramore or, man, I'm blanking. All those other ones.
All the other ones. I get what you're saying. And, you know, it's weird because I never really had like an eye on like scene kids and stuff like that. You know, like I knew of it. And I thought they were cool too when I saw it when I was like younger, but I haven't really like looked into it like that. And not because of like how they are, or the music, because I think a lot of the music is really good. But I guess, I don't know, I guess I'm just drawn to, it's weird like what you're drawn to. You can't desire what you desire.
Yeah.
You know, you could choose to act on your desire, but you can't just desire what you desire.
That's very true. What makes me desire what I desire? I mean, there probably is like, no, because...
No, like you truly can't.
Yeah.
You know, it's ingrained in you one way or another. But to act on the desire is something you can control.
Yes.
That's freedom of choice compared to freedom of will. And that's why I don't think that we have free will, because of that fact. That you can't choose what you desire.
Wait.
And I'll cut all this out, so don't worry about it. You can choose what you desire. Oh, sorry. You can choose.
Gotcha.
I got you. Don't clip that. Don't clip that. You can choose to act on your desires. I can be born a sociopath. I can be born a psychopath, or, you know, I can be born with like a murderous mindset, but I can choose to act on it. I can physically choose to act on urges or, you know, my mentality. I can choose to act on it. It may be very intense for some people. It may be, you know, I think the intensity just ranges on a scale. Like if it's very intense for some, it's very little for some. But we all have some urge to do something.
And
it's just on different scales.
That's really profound because, yeah, and if I put it on a mechanical level, then the level of your inhibition ability of your brain, like, determines kind of if you let your qualities as a living thing overtake your own, wrapping it back around, self-possession, your own awareness
very true,
of anything.
Yeah, and that's what it means to be self-possessed. It's, you know, because as you go through life, if you're growing up, at least here in the States, in the United States, and, you know, a little sidebar on that, it was supposed to be United States, lowercase u, but it got mistranslated into uppercase U. It was supposed to be all the states were like sovereign territories that kind of made like an alliance together to like work friendly together, but it wasn't like one country. It was just multiple, you know, just like in Europe, you know, because there's no real point in one country having so much land. We weren't meant to. Even our forefathers knew that. That's why it was the United States, lowercase.
How do you, like, as one body, govern a land that you know, like, there's
like the only thing that we can relate that to in existence that we know of is like the human body, you know, like there's trillions of cells that are working together for this advanced evolved thing, and that's a thing in the future. Maybe one day we'll be sufficiently, you know, organized and evolved into a state where we can organize into one world that has the same goal and works effectively.
Like a body.
Like a body. But right now, our cells are not specialized enough right now our cells individually, if you put them all together, they're not ripe to form body,
And one of my favorite esoteric maxims is as above, so below.
Right.
So, I mean, when I think of this, like, society or this civilization or this species, I think of it as like a wee little babe.
Right now
it's not self-aware, and it's not
Definitely not.
self-possessed, and it hasn't observed any patterns.
Not at
So
all.
it keeps running into the same problems.
War. Why are we still running into wars?
Why do we still have famine? There's excess
Why do we
abundance.
still have poverty? Why do we still have, like, we'll say, oh, we need more jobs of this. Oh, we need these resources. If we were just one world, one planet, if we all just work together towards the things we actually need, not to make more money, not in a means to, accumulate more wealth, not to indulge in greed, but just in a way of like, okay, it's most effective and is better for everyone if we just share all these resources and we share all of these ideas, and then we have new, more advanced technologies that are more specific to what we're trying to do. And now we're like specializing in like, okay, this part of the world does this part of the world does that. Now you're like effectively utilizing all resources from a planet and as a species to progress.
And many people have called me, at least, naive for having these ideas. It sounds simple, right? Like, what if we all work together?
Right.
Kill them.
For some reason, it's true. Like you talk about world peace. I guess maybe when people talk about world peace, they just
in a reductive way.
Right. Or like the person saying it to someone is saying it with the conviction of like, I just don't want any more violence. Like, yeah, that's true. I don't want it either. But
yeah, but they just did a genocide on me. So
yeah.
Like
so,
that, but like, okay, we need to take accountability for our primal ways as a species, and there's no real but. We just need to take accountability in every way. Like, the average person isn't the one destroying the planet, but are you living in a way that, kind of moves the needle towards more of something sustainable? Are you being aware of the people you can vote for, the things that you can do to kind of save the planet? But that's where I think love as a way of being and love as a perspective comes in. And a form of love in its active form is compassion. So
right.
It's hard to talk about this and not seem like I'm on a high horse. I haven't ever been bludgeoned or had my home stolen or been
right. We're in blessed positions.
We're in blessed positions. I'm in a privileged enough position to talk like this, like I can
to make a video and to just put it out for fun, not just like for help or for
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty crazy to think about.
So, but for the people that are hearing this that are in pretty relative positions, why choose anything other than compassion or love? I mean, I'm not trying to make you feel bad or anything, but after hearing, man, if we all put our energies and our minds together and unite forward, and we're in a pretty good position, why move in any other way than unity to become more of a force of that good that has supported you?
Oh, I did that and someone betrayed me. I was hurt because I gave myself.
I mean,
the reason that I would give back to that is, okay, but do you not see the hundreds around you that have been helped? And you reaching out again to your community, they will help you.
I have compassion for anything bad, even if it's the most mundane thing that happens to somebody. But things are gonna happen to you regardless. Yeah. Now, pain is inevitable. Suffering is a choice. I believe that everything that's happened to me that I can call a bad thing, I've gained endless wisdom, endless perspective, and endless, to a relative degree, maturity for it. I don't regret anything in my life that has happened to me because I've alchemized it into something that I can use now. Like, man, I wish I can, during these next podcast episodes, I'll make sure that I show you guys the nuggets of knowledge that I've gotten from just observation of patterns and possessing myself enough to not act like the person that has hurt me. You know, like
Right.
malice to love.
Man, I was going to say, should we discuss the third pillar?
Yes. But to wrap it up, we were in dispersed ways talking about love,
The foundation.
the foundation, which foundation to love, and then the first two pillars being observation of patterns and self-possession.
Goodbye. Perfect. Come on. Goodbye.